Good people, you are watching Everyday Struggle here on Complex. I'm Nadeska with my co-host Akademiks and Wayno. Wayno, what's so funny right now?
No, it was it was something. It was a joke that I wanted to make, but I didn't think of it fast enough. Like it was right before we started rolling, and it's like I had a small window, but I'm not gonna say it now. But it was related to
Man,
something that Ak had said, and I could have really got it, but
I'll say it on camera. I say it. It's probably a special breed of rat that lives in New York City. What is the problem? That is clear and obvious.
well, there's definitely a special
Uh,
rat that comes from New York City that we all know.
There's a lot of them. A lot of them.
Oh no! Now it's a lot, but we ain't talking about how many it is. We
Oh
just
my
talking about a
God.
specific rat. But
Uh,
it's all good. We not going
uh,
anywhere.
on the desk, you definitely forgot the S on the end of my name when you introduced me. Come on now. Yeah, you slacking now, girl.
Academic.
Academic. What do your girls call you? It's AK, right? Do you like that better? We've been calling you Ak for
Whoa.
3 years, but they always seem to call you
Whoa.
AK. Is that no?
Whoa.
Okay, all right. Just
Whoa.
checking.
I don't know what is the desk talking about right
Simmer
now.
down, Livingston. Should we?
Right.
I like Livingston. I like,
Yeah.
Yo, you ever see online when people try to shame you for like your birth name, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I like my name. I was able to get mad jobs because of my name. Okay, all the
His name is
Tyrells,
Livingston.
all the Tyrells and the Taekwonishas, they were tight. Like, I'm sorry, I have a good name. I'm sorry, I
don't
could
like that.
actually
Listen,
get a.
You're being very stereotypical.
Hey, listen, I'm just being real.
And type
Yeah,
like,
for
come
real.
on, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, listen, but I love my name. You can call me Livingston.
How do
We're
you
not
even
calling
give?
Livingston.
Is there a nickname for Livingston? How do you make that cute? Like, what is your mom
Livy.
calling
Well,
you?
well, actually, my parents call me Junior because I'm actually a junior, so my dad has the same name.
Okay.
Yeah, just call me
All right.
Junior.
Good to know. Good
Nobody
to
never
know.
called you Al?
No, ain't no. Okay, L. L doesn't see.
I just wanted
It
to
doesn't.
know, man.
It doesn't work with his brand. It doesn't make sense for him. You guys.
Right. It doesn't match up. I get it.
So it's been about 2 weeks now, since it was confirmed that Joe Biden is the next president of the United States of America. Of course, Trump and his team have been filing lawsuits in multiple states claiming there was election fraud. No officials have found any proof of this, even the Republicans, but Trump still refuses to concede. So I think his most recent tweet was like, he only won in the eyes of the fake news media. I concede nothing. We have a long way to go. This was a rigged election. I won, and so on and so forth. So he has 62 more days left in office. I know you think Trump is very entertaining, which he was just on reality TV, but is it starting to worry you guys at all? The pandemic is really bad. People are out here literally starving, right? They need money. They need those stimulus checks. A lot's happening right now, and he's just refusing to hand over the keys.
Well, first of all, so he has 2 months, but it gets everyone nervous that he might not hand over the keys. So he's not supposed to hand over the keys. Now, I will say this.
He has to
though.
start the
Listen,
transition, though. He should be doing national security briefings. Instead, he's firing everyone who disagreed with him, just being the most petty.
Well, listen, with me, I think, I am probably the most open-minded. Because I'll even give at times I'll give Trump a chance, but I'm gonna be honest. This is one of the times you gotta say, Trump, you tweaking. Just like when you won the election and people were saying Russia and this and third, did some stuff to mess with the election, and you basically said, "Fuck off, I won. Shut the fuck up. Let's keep this going." When somebody else wins, don't be having the same like sourpuss mentality and like you complaining. You got to take your L just like how you gloated over your W, okay? He's being a sore loser. I mean, also, I do think that it's probably going to get kind of dicey because I think he realized he has 70 million people who voted for him. He has them at at his disposal. And if he says riot, they're going to riot. So I think he's using this as leverage, but it's clear to me that even if he doesn't go back in office now, right? Which he's obviously lost, right? He's definitely going to try to run in 2024. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, well, the thing that like with those 70 million people, there's a few idiots in that group that's willing to do some wicked shit. So I just hope he doesn't try to rally some sort of militia or nothing, because when he did lose, I think his son tweeted stolen election and not one riot. Like he said something like that. You know what I mean? Like not one riot, not one city burned to the ground. And it was just like, dog, why do you want that? You know what I'm saying? Why do you want that? So I hope that they're not trying to cause no motherfucking anarchy or nothing like that. But who knows within the next like month? This has been one of the weirdest years of our time and of existence. So I don't know. I just hope that things transition smoothly. But if not, I'll be in the house enjoying from my television. So we'll see.
The funny part about it, which again, do I believe there's always to some degree, and it's probably a negligible degree, unless the election is really close, then it really matters. There's always some voter fraud, voter suppression, all that type of stuff. The only thing I see with this election, which like Trump just needs to man up and just be like, yo, I fucked up. I basically was dissing the whole postal system, mail-in ballots and shit like that. I basically told all y'all, don't worry about voting until one day. And then basically Joe Biden was telling everybody else, yo, vote now. Yeah, we got to start voting now to get this thing out. And now I'm surprised that they got more votes than me. He should have picked a different step, but also I think his mismanagement of that strategy also probably goes with some of his mismanagement of dealing with COVID and certain things like that. Listen, I still get my entertainment out of Trump. He'll be on CNN and Fox News talking shit.
Well,
but listen, he lost. He gotta go.
No, he
gotta
hates
go.
all of the fake news media act, including Fox News. So now apparently his big plan is to start a media empire, and we know that he's such a good businessman that that's gonna go really well. So.
That's going to be crazy.
It's going to be a fucking disaster. But they did recount the votes in Georgia since he was demanding it. Joe Biden still won. But like I mentioned to you guys a couple weeks ago, this Senate seat runoff is going to be a really, really big deal for the Democrats to get control. So please, if you live in Georgia, make sure you vote in these elections.
Hold on. I am going to say, though, I was a little skeptical. Like, at first, when he started saying, there was some voter fraud, I kind of was like, let me see what happened. Just because, to me, it's still unbelievable that Joe Biden got way more votes than Barack Obama. Like, to be honest, I think Barack Obama is like, he's the Michael Jordan of presidents, at least for our lifetime. And to see this motherfucker who I don't like.
Well, I don't think it was a case of them personally liking each candidate more. I think it was just like, this is the craziest year a lot of us have lived through in our lifetimes. There's just a lot on the line here, X. So I think a lot of people who usually sit on the sidelines decided they needed to come out and vote this time around, including you, I hope.
Listen, all the little things that Ag be throwing in there, they kind of make the ingredients for a Trump supporter. So I just want to know, I just want Ag to know, I be paying very close attention when he speak. And every time
you have to
he's
realize.
saying this little thing, he's saying that. I'm thinking about what he said last week, and the last time we touched on this subject, and it's kind of adding up. I just want you to know, Akademiks. I just want you to know.
No, I'm always fair. I'm always fair with it. Like Wayno is like one side. Like Wayno is just part of like Twitter, who is like, to keep it real, like.
I'm waiting to hear this.
You get like they'll vote for anybody as long as it wasn't Trump. You know what I mean? Me, I'm like, listen, they're both devils. They're both devils. Let's just figure out which one is the least evil, okay? And at least have rational. I'm objective. You know what I mean? They're both trash, but we got to go with one set of garbage that stinks less. So screw it.
Really? All right.
I feel like
I want to see if you stand firm on that if you were offered a big check. So 50 Cent was recently on The Breakfast Club, and he said the Trump administration offered him $1 million to show up at Trump's inauguration if he won. Now, I remember Trump got let me not say a lot of support. He got some support from some rappers very close to the election. Lil Pimp, of course, showed up at his rally. Lil Wayne posed for that photo that went viral and really, really upset people. And we're sure that, Lil Pimp, Pump, whatever, got paid for it. So he said originally they offered him $500,000. Then it went up to $1 million when he was still confused whether or not he should do it. Eventually, he said he passed because he thought that Trump was just trying to finesse the black vote, which is 100% what he did with Wayne. And then when they asked him if he thought that Wayne got paid for appearing next to Trump, he said, definitely. Now, you guys remember Chrisette Michele performed at the inauguration in 2016. She got $250,000. Not sure if that money was worth it in the long term. People were really, really pissed at her. So thoughts on this? I mean, first of all, I'm sure you guys aren't even surprised that there are checks involved, but Ak, would you have appeared at a Trump rally for $1 million?
Nah. Wait, hold on.
If he said, tell the chat to pull up, tell the chat to pull up for $1 million.
No.
Cash.
I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you.
$1 million?
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, this is why they love me and they hate me. I just can't be a fake nigga. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. If I am a performer, okay, say I'm a comedian. If they said, here's $1 million to come tell these niggas some jokes, I'm up in that bitch, man. I'm telling some jokes, though. I'm sorry. I'm up in that bitch. I'm telling some jokes. But I think it's a little bit different if it's like, I think, and that's what I was going to ask you, was 50 supposed to just show up at the inauguration? Or was he getting paid to like do something with Wayne? I think what Lil Wayne did is a strategic thing to convince people to vote during an election period.
Absolutely.
You get me? And also, he's not going to disclose that it's a paid appearance or this is a paid type of thing. that's very kind of sinister, and also it kind of really like, especially given that Lil Wayne isn't even someone who gives a fuck about any political platform. He gives a fuck more about the Green Bay Packers more than the United States of America. This is facts.
Right.
He loves sports. He don't care about politics. He also has been confused about anything that socially has to do with him and people that look like him. So when he starts to do sinister things for the money, and also he's super rich to kind of, like fuck over maybe another candidate or even help one, it seems a little scummy because as much as $1 million is, like, again, if it was like, yo, he went to perform like his 5 songs, I wouldn't even be that mad. I'm gonna be honest. But when you start taking pictures like, oh, I met with this guy, great. He says he's gonna do great for black people. You're lying to us. You took the money for the lie. These are entertainers. Take your money to perform whatever little thing you gotta do,
Right.
tap dance, do your thing.
Tap
But
dance.
don't try to sell a message or try to like basically convince people with your influence. I think that's scummy.
Well, I mean, like, come on. We all know that every politician, even on Biden's side, every time I see at the 25th hour that they're pulling in this rapper or this singer or this comedian, whomever, we know that they're trying to sway the black vote. That the thing about it is that it's all a distraction. You know what I mean? It's definitely a distraction. Same way how I felt like, yeah, Kanye saying he wants to run one day is cool, but you know you ain't got a chance in hell at this moment, and that's 60,000 votes that don't count on either side, right? So it's again another distraction. Now, Wayne, of course, I mean we know that there's money attached to this. My mentality when it comes to making money off of a situation like that, I always say like this: all right, if they offered me $1 million, I know I could go get $1 million or more for something that I actually want to do. You know what I mean? Like that's how I think about it. Like, yo, if they're offering me $1 million for that, I can go get that somewhere else. So probably not going to do it. But I mean,
Hold on.
there you go.
But
Go
imagine,
ahead.
but imagine if Sleepy Joe said, "Nigga, we ain't paying you shit." You know what I mean? Like, yo, hey, the other side said they not paying you. What's up? And by the way, also I didn't want to say, I think 2 Chainz got paid too. 2 Chainz was like giving a little rally speech.
I'm pretty sure you got paid.
Mid speech, my man was like, "Yo, listen,
different.
y'all got to be the different makers." Matter of fact, run the beat.
That shit was
I'm
super
different.
smooth,
I'm like,
though.
oh shit.
It was super
No,
smooth.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, like we all know what's going on because I mean, I don't look for the president, May 21st of next year to be chilling with 2 Chainz again. But we know at the last minute they need everything that they can to rally people up to go to the polls and vote for them. So always know that as a voter, you're still being a pawn in a game. I'm just saying it's like, if you're gonna get paid for something like that, whatever you're offered, depending on if you really want to do it, you can go get that money somewhere else. I feel like Wayne, $1 million ain't nothing to Wayne if he got that or something else. Like ain't no money there.
Yo, I think we're realizing how important not just celebrityhood is in terms of influence, but also how much of a pawn most celebrities are on any side. Because truth be told, when I seen like this document, I'm hoping it's real because I'm citing it. It said that Trump put aside $250 million, $250 million, just to get all your little favorite rappers to basically get on his side. And they're basically just calling everybody.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
some of the names, like, I mean, which I don't believe this, but goddamn it, if the goddamn person who's the intern who's working the let's call these Negroes to get on board calls Rich the fucking kid, like, this is some shit going on. I'm just saying, $250 million, that's what they got to spread around. Like, it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? But again, for me, I don't get mad if entertainers are performing, but if you're doing some shit to try to, like, get votes and shit like that, and you're like sending a message which clearly you don't agree with, and you're acting like,
But
oh no,
it's all
we
the
had a
same.
meeting.
It's all the same though.
No, Chrisette Michelle performing, like, he already won the election. It's the inauguration, bro.
Yeah, but I mean,
like,
it's
her performing. By the way,
But it
I don't
wasn't
know
a
if it-
celebratory moment for most people just with a heart and a
I
soul.
get that.
Ek.
Hold on. I get that. But I think that goes into bigger conversation as well, man. When we think about how, like, I know it's 2 different leagues, but the NFL treats us this, that, and third, and even sees like people of color.
Well,
We see niggas run over there and go do shit with the NFL. They gonna get their bags.
I mean,
Yo,
I
why
don't
we
think
mad
that's
at
the same
Chrisette
thing,
Michelle
but
for
I-
collecting her coins?
I don't consider that the same thing. But I mean, always
Hold on.
always keep in mind that prior to Trump being the president, a lot of rappers admired him because he had money. Because that's the shit that rappers do. he getting money. You know what I mean? Like he getting money, so I want to be next to him. A lot of rappers wanted to be friends with Trump. Said that it was the best time of meeting him in their lives. That's always happened. So of course now they when they have some money to spend for their campaign, they're gonna run over there for it.
And by the way, while I'm not mad at Chris and Michelle, I'm also equally not mad at the people who say I'm not fucking with her for it. She had to probably make that decision. I don't know what type of financial position she may have been in. That $250,000 might have been worth like not getting any type of look from look within the culture for the next year or two. Maybe it was Lil Pimp or Lil Pump. You know what I mean? My man's on the freezer. You know what I mean? Like you pretty much got a toe tag on him. You know what I mean? Maybe he said, "Yo, listen, I'm hopping out the freezer and hopping into the furnace. Maybe I burn all the way, but shit, at least I go down I go out in a ball of flame instead of on a block of ice. I don't know. Let that man rock."
Yo, did you just come up with that right now? Oh,
Genius, right?
So
I know that's some Kevin Hart shit.
You're
Yeah,
so
I know.
Look, guys.
There we go.
I think you made a lot of good points here, but what I took away from this whole thing is that Ak would not have taken the check for a Trump rally, but he would take the check for a Trump inauguration. Chat, don't let him influence you guys if you're not supporting this evil man, okay?
Man, if I'm a comedian, they said come over here and tell these stiff MAGA motherfuckers some jokes, and the nigga already won. Man, cut me that $1 million check and I'm over there, man. Let's go. Sorry.
Sometimes it's not worth the money. But look, guys, so I think it's been...
Well, you rich. I'm broke.
Well, I don't know why you keep spreading this, because people online really believe this shit. But anyway, guys... Akademiks with the mansion this year, I think it's been pretty well documented that the black vote really carried Biden in this election, and very specifically black women, like Stacey Abrams, who was on the ground in Georgia, like really organizing to help flip a historically red state to blue. But of course, there's been some data saying that Trump got increased support from some black men in this election. Now, of course, I'm not saying all black men. That would be crazy. So they asked Obama about this in a recent interview with The Atlantic magazine. So here's what he said. Quote, he said, "It's interesting. People are writing about the fact that Trump increased his support among black men and the occasional rapper who supported Trump. I have to remind myself that if you listen to rap music, it's all about the bling, the women, the money. A lot of rap videos are using the same measures of what it means to be successful as Donald Trump is. Everything is gold-plated. That insinuates itself and seeps into the culture." Now, Trump has definitely had a long relationship with rap, but I feel like that moment in time is over. With people idolize him just for his success, which of course was fake because he's pretty much bankrupt. What do you guys think about Obama's comments here?
I agree. Well, all right, so
man,
do it.
I'll kick it off because I know we all love Obama, but come on, yo, why Barack had to throw us under the bus? He just threw hip hop straight under the bus. Right. Like, black men voted for Trump a little bit more. It's some niggas in hip hop, man. They've been idolizing that nigga like you, of course. No, again, I think we'd probably have to do more research, and I don't know if that thought was particularly research or he was just kind of like his theory on the whole thing. But I don't think we can blame it on hip hop. I feel like universally within hip hop, that's where the most hatred of Trump has been, and a lot of it is contributed by black men. Like we've had multiple songs that's done really well. Fuck Donald Trump. Like again, it's not like rappers are making, and of course we do get now and then a few rappers say, "Oh no, you know what? I actually like him because he's gangster." Fine, that is true, but we do have a lot of, when it comes to hip hop, a lot of like messages, a lot of songs that basically have been saying, "Fuck this guy. I can't put it on rap." I think Barry needs to chill out because I be trying to listen to his, motherfucking, he be giving these little playlists and he be having a lot of rap on it. But come on, don't throw us black men under the bus like that. We love our black women. They held it down. I think it was like 90%. They ain't fuck with them. No, even higher than that. They ain't fuck with them. We black men, we was a little bit lower, but still, Barry, don't do that to us.
Yeah, when I seen the word bling, I knew some bullshit was coming. You know what I mean? For real, like when I see the word bling, it's the bling. It's the, like, come on, dog. Like, let's not sit here in front, like when people say the bling and all that glamour shit, like people act like the only people who are into luxurious, shit that everybody might not need essentially is black people, and that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not true. I just think that what Obama said, that's what showed he was out of touch with the culture, and I felt like, because we back him for so many things, that comment was a little bit irresponsible. You know what I mean, I felt like that comment was a little bit irresponsible. Like I said, like fuck Donald Trump. I think that song is a song that's gonna live forever. You know what I mean? Like they went so far as to on CNN they ain't even blurred it out when it was playing in the background. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was playing in the background after Biden was chosen as the winner of the election, and they didn't even bleep it out. So like, I just was like, come on, Barack, like, what the fuck is you on? Like, you know what I mean? That's what it just made me think. But
Yeah, I do think also, here's the thing, I keep saying this. I feel like anytime we have a conversation, and by the way, just number one, black people ain't a monolith, of course, black women nor black men are a monolith either. But anytime we start talking and we start to acknowledge the greatness, we start to uplift our black women, it feels like you kind of gotta like just throw a little kick on the black men. You know what I mean? Listen, there's so many women who have been instrumental in just organizing and making this happen, right? But don't just kick our brothers. You know what I mean? First of all, like this that also it goes into a lot of other things. Like, are we taking into account many of the black men who may have caught charges who couldn't vote? Like again, you can't just speak about black men as a whole. You know what I mean? So I think Barry was a little tweaking. You know what I mean? I like his jump shot still though. That's my guy. But
Barry.
you know, listen, let's just be happy that at least the outcome wasn't, because they would have blamed us for everything.
Well, I don't know about all of that, but yes, thank God that Trump lost, although he won't accept defeat. Let's see how the next 62 days go.
Yo, Nadeska, I feel like you counting down. I feel like you're actually counting down.
Until he's done, of course, man. It's just gonna, it's been just such a fucking tense year with this monster. It's like hanging over your head that he really is our president. It's like been surreal. You know what I mean? Like just watching his news conferences, the bullshit that he says, it's just so embarrassing and just awful. So yeah, I'm really excited for this to finally be over. But look, guys, so when we lost King Von recently, there's also been a lot of shootings. Rapper Mo3 was killed in Dallas. Boosie was shot. Benny the Butcher. So I think especially as we get closer to the holiday season, people are worried that more things like will continue to happen. And we keep having this conversation about, how can we help? How can the industry help? So Meek put out some good intentions on Twitter, but I would say that his comments were not necessarily well received. So he said, I'll get all the main big artists in Philly a deal if they put the bodies behind them and squash the beefs. He said, I've got some hot young bulls from my city, but they're all beefing. So he went on to say that's just an idea, but basically he's trying to push through with Philly and, get these guys out of the streets and get them into music. But then a lot of people got upset, basically saying that Meek shouldn't be baiting people to entice them to stop beefing. But, my friends, your thoughts on this situation?
when I saw this, I mean, I understood the intent that Meek had, but at the same time, it's like, first of all, a lot of these guys that he's talking about a lot of these dudes don't want deals. Like they don't want deals, and I think that it came to a place where Meek is they looking at Meek like, oh, now you want to help us out? You know what I mean? Oh, now you got something to say regarding our situations, and you're kind of far removed. I think that for me personally, I would like I wish that Meek would see that he's like, I wouldn't say above things, but certain things he just got to stay out of. You know what I mean? As an artist, as a person in the game. Um, Even when it comes to potentially getting a situation, a lot of these guys can get situations. A lot of them don't want to leave the streets alone because yeah, it's a lot of bullshit that comes with it, but the streets is a mentality. That shit is really a mentality. You know what I mean? Like that's why when all of these artists are saying how dangerous it is to be an artist, that's because a lot of these niggas are carrying the same mentality that they had all life into everything that they go into. You know, a lot of people are not trying to change, and a lot of people aren't going to change. And like I felt like I understood Meek's intent, but realistically, yo, I think that Meek just need to leave a lot of shit alone. You know, I think that he puts himself into situations that he doesn't need to be in. You know, and this one specifically. Also, I think that a lot of artists don't take that even took what Meek said seriously because a lot of artists don't want to sign with Meek, and I don't know for what reason, but I don't. You know, we haven't seen Meek as the artist that breaks artists. You know, so when he's saying stuff like this, they like, fuck am I listening to him for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't set the example if you've gotten so far and you still be in the hood sometimes yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I think he needs to just create some detachment between him and the streets.
Wow. Could you imagine how shocked I was. By the way, if you don't know, like a couple months ago, Meek Mill banned me from the trenches. He said, "You're banned from the trenches." Now, to be honest, well, I live in the trenches, so that's different. But still,
Be serious
like
for a moment.
to me, hold on. To me, it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, yo, Wayno, I'm banning you from Mars. I'm like, that's like you're banning me from somewhere I don't want to go. But I also did bring up then, but I think it kind of comes to a head now where it's like you can't be both. You can't have the 1 foot in, 1 foot out type of thing. And watching some of the interaction with these dudes from Philly is that here's the thing. As a statement as you said, yeah, he did offer a deal if they could stop beefing, but also he tweeted before, yo, it's gonna come a time everybody got to pick a side. So you know what's gonna happen? Like you can't when you culturally when you start talking like that, you're usually speaking like it's us or them, or you got to be on this side or this side. So the people from his neighborhood, they looked at him. Okay, pick a side. And of course, that's when he got a little bit more holistic. But here's the thing: that's the thing about being 1 foot in and 1 foot out, because it's just like with T.I. When T.I. like I think he's kind of making like some decent points about, hey, listen, yo, Atlanta's a transplant place. Don't be coming over here with beef this and third. But it sounds like, yo, you the old nigga now acting like you wasn't on that bullshit too. And that's exactly what they looked at Meek and pretty much said, like, yo, bro, you not even really here. Like, you don't see what's going on. Then they started using his lyrics and stuff like that. I think Meek is much beyond what this is. But sometimes I look at Meek, who is 33 going on 34, and he's still a super young rapper, but the ways I've seen him level up in his career, I oftentimes look at him like on Instagram or Twitter, like, who are you trying to prove to, dog, that you still a hood dude? Like you still a street nigga. And it gets embarrassing when the younger dudes, they don't respect you like that, even from where you're from. And now it looks even crazy because like you put all your chips on the horse of saying, hey, listen, I'm the streets, and you haven't really ever transitioned. And I know a lot of rappers are scared to transition. That now it feels like it's backfiring on you. Like, I think, to your point, Wayno, this was definitely below him to even be engaging in. Also, if we're supposed to believe in some of the things we've seen you do, and like you're doing really some really positive stuff for the community, this shouldn't have been handled, or this shouldn't have been responded to on social media. I think Meek uses social media in a way that's sometimes more ego driven and seems more immature than sometimes his moves would actually say.
Well,
That's why you see, just wrapping up here. That's why you see again. Even though he's dropping music this Friday, he deletes his Instagram and Twitter, because again, he's doing too much on those platforms sometimes. If you ask me.
No, I totally and I'll say this in close as well. I totally agree there. I think that, even though Meek is 33 going on 34, he did come from a social media era. He's right in between. He comes from the era of, like, all the guys before him, is the Jada Kisses and all of that, but he's right in that, like, Meek really started taking off 10 years ago when Twitter really became a thing. When Instagram was first birthed. So I think that, like, he feels like he's still the guy. Well, I say when he gets on the phone, he might still feel that same feeling, like he could talk the way he used to when he can't. And I agree. Like, I think that he is, like, just in a space where that's not the shit that we want to see from you. He's around and he compares himself. Well, I say he kind of compares himself to Jay from time to time, and it came to a point where Jay stopped going to Marcy projects. You know what I mean? Like, that became an old story. It's like, we know that Meek could go to anywhere in Philly. He has respect and all of that. But me personally, as his friend and as a fan as well, I don't want to see him on a block counting money no more. You know what I mean? I feel like he's in a certain space where he's past that part that's motivation. Like, that part that's motivation, you did it already. We need to see you doing other shit. Like, you hanging out with Robert Kraft and all these other guys. We need to see you leveling up in a different way and inspiring in a different way. And I think that in order to fully get there, Meek got to leave all that hood shit behind him. Like, he has to.
I agree. And even leaving it behind, you can still be an influence and still have an effect. I think he's trying to figure out how do you kind of get that same respect if you're not in that environment, because sometimes with the streets, right? And again, I get it. I ain't from the street, but I know how I see how people who they seem to be giving respect to. It's the people who's active and in it, not the people who lived it and transcended it.
Yeah.
So I think Meek is trying to figure out how could I still get respect from that like that particular facet, but not be in the mix and be doing dumb stuff, because a lot of times it's a very slippery slope to keep bringing you down that path of doing dumb stuff.
Yeah, and that's I know we gotta go. I can see it in your face. I know we gotta go. But this last thing I will say is this: like, end of the day, man, fuck all that. Like, go be with your family. Go be with your the ones that's really around you, the ones that really care for you. Because all I think about is Nipsey, man. All I think about is Nipsey. It's like Nipsey had all the respect in his neighborhood, and it took one idiot. It took one idiot to take his life in front of an establishment that he built, that he kept there, that he wanted to motivate people for. So I think, like, it comes to a point where enough is enough. You know what I mean? And you gotta have that conversation internally, because you can have it with 100 people, but you really gotta make the decision to say, yo, do I really just want, like, you know what I mean? Do I really care for this aspect of that game anymore? You gotta step over it. You know what I mean? You gotta keep going. And eventually, if you really motivating them, they'll follow through. You know?
Very true. I mean, and like Ak mentioned, he has said he's dropping that project on Friday. I'm curious to see if it's in the vein of Other Side of America, where he's addressing serious issues in the music. I think that's maybe a bit more safe than addressing it on social media, like you guys said. I just want to say thank you. I feel like we covered some serious topics today. I kind of like discussing actual life with you guys and not just music.
When I got his own 6 hat on, you know what time it is.
Zone 6, man.
Hey guys,
bring it up.
Thank you for watching Everyday Struggle. We're going to see you here tomorrow on Thursday, and then next week we're off for the entire week for the Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.